What is attention deficiency disorder? The senses which were supposed to operate in a confluence of radiation in twilight zone, in an extended window of operation, extending up to infrared on one side and ultraviolet on the other side, are being deviated from that state, triggering unproductive functioning of faculties, eventually driving them into a state of disarray. The deficiency of twilight harmony leading to disorder of the faculties, which in turn loses control on the senses. Whenever the connection is re-established, the individual makes proper attempt to focus on his or her task. If the frequency of intermittent connection between the senses and the confluence of radiation is low, then the individual is termed to be suffering from ADD, that is, he lacks attention. It is not clear if there is any scientific guideline on the threshold value of frequency of orderly connection between faculties and senses, and the senses and operating in a confluence of radiation in twilight zone to determine the extent of lack of attention. Obviously, above the threshold value of a frequency lies the continuum operation of twilight zone. Now, we have covered what is basically attention deficiency disorder, why it happens, the role of the senses and the faculties, why personality is being affected, why personality is in the front line of firing, and the role of twilight zone, all that we have discussed. So what are the possible solutions to the syndrome that is known as ADD, attention deficiency disorder? Let us try to explore that. One has to restore the perfect balance of day and night, the sun and moon phases. We have to ensure the earth is rotating, not wobbling or generating seismic waves or spewing lava or whatever, with a sense of intolerance. Last but not the least, we have to ensure seamless connection between the senses and faculties and the soul. It's as simple as that. Is there a procedure or formula to overcome the deficiencies of ADD? I think first and foremost, one has to stop labeling ADD as a deficiency. It may be a disorder. All the disorders need not be deficiencies. By labeling as deficiency, a permanent impression is being created on the faculties of individual that they cannot overcome this and they have to live with this syndrome. It is not a sin not to pay attention, nor it is considered divine to be attentive. Physically handicapped people are termed as physically challenged, and some of these individuals took advantage of their deficiencies to excel. In fact, they can attain saturation faster than normal people. B.K. Iyengar, internationally known for his teachings on yoga, was very weak when he was young. He overcame all his ill health deficiencies to excel in yoga. Stephen Hawking, well-known physicist, suffered from rare neuron motor disease that paralyzed his whole body. He overcame he overcame that deficiency to make significant contribution in cosmic science. Ravana did not pay attention to anyone, nor he cared anyone, barring few neutral elements like Narada, Sanat Kumara, saint. He acquired fame and name for himself in the history. So stop labeling it as a deficiency. The faculties and senses sometimes function in a disorderly fashion, eventually find their way towards orderly combination. This is nature's cycle. Being disorder is not a deficiency. Ravana was extremely deficient in whatever he was doing. Genetically, there is not much difference between individual having ADD and an individual not having ADD. So all of us traveling in the same boat. It's just that some are being seated in the front row and get a chance to alight from the boat early. It doesn't mean that they are greater on those being seated at the back or less privileged. Welcome to the 182nd episode of Lalitha Sahasranam Stotra. Next Nama is Shivamurti, the female of seventh generation Kalyana, who unified with his her male counterpart with Mahakamesa virtue, has conceived. The art of lovemaking yielded the fruit. So it seems the mechanism of conceiving happens in a state of renunciation, or the state of renunciation is a perfect seed for conceiving. The virtues of Mahakamesha, Bhuvaneshwari, Guru force, the subtle variations of Tamoguna of the individual participating partners, the diplomatic efforts of Narayani, the renunciation training given by Shiva, all these aspects have helped towards conceiving of seventh generation human, who is shaping up in the womb. The soul representing Panchabrahma energy, seeking a physical body. Such a body is being shaped up. Through the Nama Shivamurti, Nirvikara re-enters the planet Earth. Those who are in a state of renunciation or Vairagya operate beyond Vikara. What is Vikara? Akara is Prakriti, while Vikara is Vikruti. Akara means a definite form as per scaling laws, satisfying the scaling laws. Vikara is a form that violates nature's scaling laws. Akara is the breathe out cycle of unified energy of universal parents, while Vikara is the breathe in cycle of unified energy of universal parents. In Saura Samhita, scripture known as Saura Samhita, Adhamukte Swarupam te pravakshami Swarupata Tasmadatma Swarupaina Paramuktira Vidyaya Pratibadha Visuddhasya Vidyaya Vyajate Nakha. Next Nama is Shivamkari. The formation of connection cord between the mother and the baby in the womb. In the Nama Shivamurti, Shiva, in a state of renunciation, became a witness to the conceiving act of seventh generation woman. The unification of northbound and southbound earth elements facilitated the childbearing seed in seventh generation woman. Therefore, conceiving happens in a state of Sivashakta Samarasya, or harmony state of northbound and southbound forces. This is called Pinda in Sanskrit. Pinda means a fertilized egg receiving the nourishment of Panchabrahma. Through the Nama Shivankari, the capillary connection between mother to be seventh generation woman and the baby was formed. Shiva means Panchabrahma entity having only fire and air elements. Means a virtue originating in Brahma Grandhi, terminating into Rudra Grandhi. Re means earth element of Narayani in heart chakra or Anahata chakra. Ka is karmacharana or action. What kind of action was performed? The forces of Panchabrahma, fire and air elements on one side, balancing the earth element of Narayani on the other side. In this state of Shiva-Shakti Samarasya, or harmony state of unified northbound and southbound forces, the seventh generation woman has conceived, and the tiny capillary connection has formed between mother and the baby. Act of this karmacharana in the formation of through the formation of capillary tube terminated into Rudra Grandhi, and eighth generation faculty, eighth generation human faculty of intellect was activated. With this Nama, this sloka is completed. Shivaduti, Shivaradhya, Shivamurti, Shivankari. What does it mean? Shivaduti has faculty of discretion, Shivaradhya as faculty of personality, Shivamurti as faculty of intellect, and Shivankari as faculty of mind. Remaining namas we will discuss in the next episode. Thank you.